Alright, so what we have happening here is when these these red detection particles here connect with this target sphere, that's when the muzzle flash goes off. That triggers another particle event driving the muzzle flash, which lasts for about 3 seconds. That is an animated piece of geometry, which, you know, there's also there's a script that brings that in, and as part of the script, I believe I'm bringing I'm bringing omnis in as well. So I'm bringing I'm bringing omnis in to illuminate the scene with that at the same time. Now the other thing that's happening is when these collide in this way is there's a script that grabs small physics objects. Again, these are these bottles, you'll see these are linked together mass effects rigid bodies, and there are several projectiles down here. And they are teeny tiny. Come on, guys, come on, work with me. Are you hiding? Because I know you're there. Oh, wait, they're in motion. That's why I can't find them. There we go. Okay, so, and they look like this right here. Looks like there are a couple of them. Don't know why they're over there. But in any case, if I turn on the trajectories for these guys, you'll see they kind of go a little bit berserk there. Oh, they scaled. Oh, odd. Okay, those guys got moved somehow. Not really sure how that happened, but they're back now. Anyway, so you can see these are my projectiles, and you can see they're kind of their trajectories all look all wonky. But what is happening with them, with each of them, is whenever one of these detection particles here, and we should probably change the color of those again now because they're going to get confused with our trajectory lines, so let's make them green. What happens every time they cross through these detection pieces, these collision spheres or collision planes, is they will spawn. They don't spawn in anything new. What they do is a script pops up. They go to what this collision physics bullets path, and it's turned off right now just because everything here is determined. It's based on what the previous frame was. So if you're scrubbing back and forth, it kind of messes it up a little bit. And the scripts, the way I have them set up keyframes for these projectile objects, and I'll get into more detail with this a little bit later on. I know this looks much worse than it is, but frankly my script writing is a little bit lazy and unskilled, and this was a way that I knew that I could make sure that the projectiles did not get confused and start following each other's paths randomly. And so each one is locked into its own path. And after 4 seconds it dies, which is okay, because after 4 frames it dies, which is okay, because after 4 frames you're not seeing anything anyway. That's all it's doing. Okay, so we've got physics objects knocking over these bottles. Let's turn off these trajectories. We don't need them anymore. You guys all see the point now. And as these guys come across down here, you'll see little puffs kicking off down here. Let me turn on our edges. In fact, let me turn off our grass display. It'll make it a lot easier to see what's happening. Again, turn off most of our grass anyway. And go straight to wireframe. And you'll see that our projectiles are actually causing wall chips and little dust puff squibs coming off the wall there. They are also, when they hit, and that would be down here, let's see, collision wall, sorry, help if you could see that, collision wall, strike wall, wall chip, and also as a sidebar, this is a tracker module, and you'll see this is my wall chip test that I had going on here. It's good to make a spawn by travel that lasts for maybe 5 or 10 frames with things like this. By travel distance, inherit a small amount of velocity, use lines for display because they always end up being fine, whether or not it's like some people like to use dots, and I'm down with dots. Dots are good as a display option. Like, let's grab these guys and display them as dots. Problem is, dots are also kind of thick. Dots also don't give you the nice fine little lines that lines give you. And that is problematic for me because when you have things like these little guys here, you'll want to see where they're going so you can kind of determine what the shape of your explosion, what the shape of your little particle burst is going to be. And it's tough to do that with just eyeballing it. So what I will do, let's turn this on here, and let's find it. Where is it? And it's calculating now, so I'm going to pause. Actually, that was an oops on my part.